Oh, the smell coming off the pork is beautiful. Today we're in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, and this video is going to be all about street food.
We've got some real street food gems lined up for you. We can't wait to share them with you.
Ho Chi Minh City throbs with a relentless energy. It's chaotic, exciting, and a paradise for people who love to eat. This is our first video from Saigon, and we're eating some of the city's tastiest food. Watch out for one of Saigon's best bowls of pho from a nondescript stall that has been slinging bowls of Vietnam's national dish for over 50 years. Delicious traditional Vietnamese desserts, plus a grilled pork noodle salad that is hands down one of the best street foods we have ever eaten. In this Saigon series, we'll show you some of the city's best food, from iconic street food to traditional recipes. You don't want to miss this series. Get ready for some mouth-watering food.
I'm Thomas.
And I'm Sheena, and we're chasing a plate.
We hope you're hungry. Let's eat.
We are on an eating mission today. We are going into the heart of the food culture here in Ho Chi Minh City, and we're going to share with you a bunch of really delicious local food. We're just at our first stop, and we're here for Vietnam's most famous dish, and that is pho, which is beef noodle soup. Let's go and grab a bowl. Now you can get pho all over Saigon, but we've come to this particular stall because it is a local's favourite. They've just opened and it's already packed, so let's go and get some. Xin chào. Wow. Bye bye. Hi. Come in. We ordered 2 bowls of pho and we ordered it with rare beef. This place is really awesome. Let me show you the cart. So the cart is at the front of the restaurant. And they've got this big pot of broth going here. So with pho, it's all about the broth, and it smells absolutely heavenly. You've got the noodles all in there, and then you can order different cuts of beef. So they've got meatballs, they've got flank steak. We ordered rare beef. Oh, the smells are awesome. I'm so excited to get into this pho. It's so neat up at that stall watching all of the action. So we ordered the rare beef pho, and you can see it really is just barely cooked. All she did was she grabbed the raw beef and she just dunked it super quick into that hot broth. Now with pho, it is all about the broth. So it's a beef broth, a broth which is cooked with lots of beef bones and also meat together with a ton of aromatics. So let me just give this thing a taste. So just the broth. I'm not going to add anything to it. Okay, look at that. Look how clean looking it is. Holy moly. It is so intense with flavour. It is absolutely beautiful. Super clean tasting, but packed with beef flavour. Now, let me just show you what else is in this bowl. So we've got the noodles, so these beautiful looking rice noodles. We've got the rare beef, and then we've got a ton of greens. So we've got, I can see some spring onions, there's some Thai basil, I think I saw some sawtooth herb, and then you can customize your pho and make it taste how you like it. So there's lime, there's fresh chilies, there's also this little bottle of chili sauce, some chili oil, and also some hoisin sauce. So what I might do is just get a little bit of this mixture, dump it in there, get a few chilies as well, like a bit of spice, and then chuck a bit of lime on there and make it a little bit zingy. All right, noodles, beef. Now that beef is going to keep cooking in the broth, so we want to get into it real quick so it doesn't get tough and overcooked. All right. Steaming hot. I am so happy right now. I love the spice that the fresh chilies add. The beef was super tender. It is so soft in the mouth. It's a great flavour. This pho is absolutely spectacular, and I am loving this little restaurant. There's so much going on. People are pouring in. It's really busy. People are yelling orders. The staff is super friendly, and holy moly, this bowl of pho This broth. We've been to Vietnam 3 times. This is seriously the best pho I have ever eaten.
We're right into the heart of Vietnamese street food for this next food. Look at this street, it's crazy, so many scooters. And our next food is right here under this umbrella. It's Bun Thit Nuong, which my Vietnamese is terrible, but my English a little bit better. In English, that's a grilled pork salad. And you can see this lady grilling up the pork right here on this super busy road.
Mật tôi. Cảm ơn.
How good is this for a Vietnamese street scene? So she's grilling up the little bits of pork right here on the charcoals, sitting just in a little pan right here on the street. Oh man, it smells so good. Oh, the smell coming off the pork is beautiful. So the pork will have a little bit of glaze on it. I can see what looks like a bit of garlic on that pork. And I love this street scene. Look at all these scooters just rocking by. This really neat little stall under the umbrellas. Oh, this is street food, just the heart of street food. This is so good. She's chucking together the bowl for us now. So, as always in Vietnam, so many greens in there. And you can see the thin rice noodles she's put on. We've got some spring roll, which she's just cut up. A little piece of pork there, and now she's chucking that grilled pork on top. I love in Vietnam the combinations of fresh ingredients. And then you've got that meat on top. Oh, and look at this, she's going to be putting on the sauce. Oh, a bit of chili. Look at that. What just a pretty picture of a bowl. Wow. Everything about this bowl and where we're sitting just screams Vietnam street food for me. The bowl of just beautiful fresh ingredients. And look at this environment. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. The tiny little stool right on the footpath, scooters roaring past. It does not get much better. And look at this rice noodle salad. So thin rice noodles. We've got lots of fresh ingredients. So there's lettuce and all sorts, but I'll mix that through in a minute. We've got some spring rolls with ours. So you can see that beautiful deep fried spring roll with some pork inside. Those beautiful bits of grilled pork, which are coming off that grill right there beside us. So we're getting faces filled with that beautiful smoke from that. And then we've got a little meatball as well, so a little pork meatball. But you've got to mix this all up. So she's put some sauce all over there. You can just see it down the bottom. And that's going to be sort of like a fish sauce, and there'll be a bit of a sweetness in that. So you've got to coat everything in that sauce. Oh, and there's peanuts, so look at these peanuts. She sprinkled them over the top right at the end, so you want to really mix it in. Get everything combined up. Those peanuts, you can see there's some chili she put on there as well. Oh, all right. Oh, greens, pork, noodles. Oh man. Wow. Oh. Wow. That pork is unreal, incredibly soft and juicy. That chili as well is the perfect spice. I love in Vietnam how the flavors are very natural. You don't need a huge amount of chili or anything to lift them. Everything just works in unison. So, oh my God, that is good. Let's get some spring roll. Oh my God. This is unbelievably good. Unbelievably good. We traveled across the city for this. This is a very common dish here. You'll find it all over the show. But we traveled across the city for this particular lady's stand. It is absolutely nuts how good this is. And I love it because people are just cruising in. You can see the scooters right here beside us. It's basically like a drive-through. So you cruise in, park your scooter, jump off, order your bowl, smash your bowl of noodles, and then back on the road. Unbelievable, this is so good. Oh, the flavors. This is truly unbelievably good. Sometimes we order one bowl of food because we're not about food waste. We want to make sure we eat everything we have. I'm ordering a second bowl of this because there is no way I'm sharing this with Sheena. Can we have one more? Or, yeah, come in, come in. Oh, wow, this is good.
Thomas and I
love to explore cities by foot. So we've just walked 45 minutes from our last spot to our next street food, and Ho Chi Minh City is crazy to walk around. It's loud, it's frenetic, it's smelly, it's busy, it's hot, it's sweaty. It is amazing. Now yesterday we were researching what to put in these videos, so we're eating our way all around the city, and we ate at this really great dessert shop here. So some traditional Vietnamese desserts, and they were so delicious. We can't wait to share them with you. Xin chào! This little street stall is right by a really busy road, so it's really chaotic and loud, and she serves a number of different traditional Vietnamese desserts. So one is de boi, which is a traditional Vietnamese mung bean, pomelo and coconut dessert. So look, she's making up the de boi right now. So you've got this coconut sauce, coconut milk sauce, and then she's popping in some mung bean, and then also bun flan, which is a legacy from the French being here. It's actually a creme caramel. This little stall, which is in this laneway, is so cool. So I've got dessert with a view. I'm sitting facing the road. There's so much traffic going past. I've got a tombstone shop next to me. You just can't help but feel a real part of this city because it's sweaty, it's loud, it's smelly, it's awesome. So this is what I've got. I've got bun flan, which is cream caramel. So you've got the custard there, and then it's topped with crushed ice, and then also a little bit of a coffee syrup. And then this here is de boi, which is a coconut milk sauce with mung bean and also pomelo skin. So I'm going to get into this creme caramel first because it's rapidly melting that ice. So let's just get into it. Look at this. Wow, it is so silky. All right. Oh, it's beautiful. I love how creme caramels have stuck around since the French were here. So it's got its own unique Vietnamese take though. So you've got the creme caramel, and it's been covered with this crushed ice, and then the coffee syrup. And the coffee syrup is a little bit bitter, quite sweet. It just works perfectly with that custard. It's beautiful. All right, let's get into this de boi. So de boi is a traditional Vietnamese dessert, and it's fast becoming one of my favorite Vietnamese desserts. It's made up of this coconut cream sauce, and then also pomelo skin as well as mung bean. So let me just find some of this pomelo and mung bean to show you. So see those bits of pomelo skin? So it's pomelo skin and the pomelo pith. And what they do is they boil the skin until it loses all its bitterness, and then they cook it with sugar, and it almost becomes like a jelly texture. So I'm just going to mix it up. It's got some crushed ice in there as well. Okay. Got it all over my face. It's really good. So the coconut cream sauce isn't overly sweet. It's just got a beautiful creamy texture. And then the pomelo skin is a little bit sweet. It's got a real texture to it. It's sort of a little bit crunchy and jelly-like. The mung bean is really earthy. And it's a little bit gluggy as well because it's got tapioca starch in it. So it's a great texture and super refreshing.
It is fantastic walking the hectic streets of Saigon. There is so much to look at. You've got to be dodging rubbish and puddles of water all the time. But that often means you need something to cool down. So there's a lot of great drinks to be had here. But I think arguably the most famous drink you'll find here is a Vietnamese style coffee. They do it a really neat way, and we've found a place doing it at a super traditional style to show you. This is a staple of life here in Saigon, sitting on the street having a coffee. And so you see coffee shops everywhere, little shops, little stalls, but we find these ones, these little stalls that are right on the road, super traditional. The classic, the tiny little stools to sit on the footpath, all the traffic roaring past, and they make the coffee out of these little filters. So they just pour through filters so that it drips through, makes a very thick, black coffee, which is then turned into a milk coffee with condensed milk. So you've got an incredibly sweetened coffee. So a lovely big dollop of that black coffee, big drop of condensed milk, and then ice. And it was really neat how she was cracking the ice here actually. She's had some big chunks that she was bringing out and just had a sort of a rectangle of hard metal, just whacking that ice and breaking it up. So you end up with ice that's broken into some lovely chunks. So you can see it holds together quite well because it's broken up manually. So you've got this beautiful texture of ice. Oh, very strong in coffee and very sweet. So pretty common way to have coffee here in Asia actually with condensed milk. But I find in Vietnam there's something about it. It really is special here. The coffee is amazing. It's beautifully strong, so it's not too sweet. That's what I find, I think. That's what I find special. The condensed milk coffee in Asia sometimes can be too far on the sweet scale. This is very sweet, don't get me wrong. However, it's also bitter, so it's got a perfect balance between that bitterness of the coffee and the sweetness. And look at the environment you get to sit in. You just sit here, it's incredibly hot. All the sounds of all the scooters going past you. We're in the middle of a whole lot of car repair shops. So there's a guy spray painting a roof here. There's some guys just up there fixing car lights. There is so much going on. I absolutely love the street food here in Saigon. It's unreal. Come in. Come in. This is another lovely touch here in Vietnam. So you often get, or always get a little bit of tea to go with your coffee. And the tea is going to be much more bitter. Oh yeah, much more bitter. That's actually a very bitter one compared to normal. You've got the sweetness of the coffee and then you balance it out with the light, fresh bitterness of the tea. I love this place. Really good drink.
They're coming at us.
Excuse me. Oh, a bit of that sweetness.